Good day, everyone. My name is Naval, your OLC for Purposive Communication. Today, we are going to discuss the third part of communication for work purposes. For our objectives, at the end of this module, you're expected to identify the benefits of effective communication in a workplace and show how effective communication in a workplace can be done. Let's begin. Let's first define what is effective communication. Effective communication is a process of exchanging ideas, thoughts, knowledge, and information such that the purpose or intention is fulfilled in the best possible manner. Simply put, it is to understand a message and be understood accordingly. For effective communication to take place, there must be that meaningful exchange of ideas, thoughts, and information. And how can it be meaningful? Because the sender makes sure that his or her message is perceived in the way that it is supposed to by the receiver. Meaning, as long as it is not being understood by the receiver, there will be no meaningful exchange. Now, for a sender and receiver, it's not limited to just one person. So it can be a group of people as a sender, and then the receiver is one person, or vice versa. So there are a lot of things to consider in order for the effective communication to happen. So number one, we have the purpose, intention, and it has to be understood accordingly by the receiver. Now, how does effective communication take place in a certain work area? In the workplace, perhaps. So, effective communication would have to take place between the employees, like between colleagues, workmates, and also between subordinates and superiors. Now, effective communication in the workplace is directly related to their or to the employee's motivation. It motivates them to work. Then it would be affecting their productivity. When you're motivated, it is likely that you will produce more quality work. Now let's move on to the different benefits of effective communication in a workplace, other than the primary things that I've mentioned about motivation and productivity. First, building a team. Effective communication builds and binds a person or group of people together. Because they communicate effectively, they are open to one another. In a team, you don't have to be there for each other just to celebrate the victories. You also have to be with one another to help one another when there are difficulties. So it builds a team. It builds and binds people and group of people, no matter what the situation is. And you can have that because of effective communication, being open, being comfortable with one another. Next, effective communication in the workplace makes things easier. Misconception, miscommunication, unclear ideas, and confusing instructions can always be avoided by using clear and understandable words in order to be easily understood. This is not only limited for a leader. But as a leader, you always have to make sure that you use simple words or vocabulary that can be understood by your employees regardless of rank. This also applies to all the employees. Because if you give them something, it has to be very clear. The details should be complete in order for them to carry out the task correctly. Again, miscommunication, misconception, misunderstanding can always be avoided if you give clear instructions. In case the instructions are not that clear for the receiving end, they can always ask you for clarifications, and you always have to be willing to give further explanations just for them to understand the instructions or whatever it is that you're saying. Third, effective communication in a workplace helps manage diversity. In a diversified environment, just like in a company or in an institution, effective communication should be maintained by using methods considering everyone's unique differences. So in a workplace or in a group, there are different cultures that you need to consider. There are also different personalities that you need to consider. And it is not a one size fits all type of thing. You have to observe. You also have to make some trial and error in order for you to determine which method works for this group. How about for this group? In this company and in another company. It has to be discovered. Now, in a workplace, of course, there would be different cultures. There would be people with individual differences. And they also have different personalities. These are just a few of the factors that you need to consider, which contributes to the diversity. Right. So, for that, you have to be very observant. You have to take note of what ticks them off, and you have to take note of how to approach them the proper way. That's the only key for you to manage diversity through effective communication. Next up, we have dealing with problems. So, good communication skills can resolve and even prevent problems from happening. Effective communication in a workplace helps people deal with their problems. So, because of effective communication, because you feel comfortable in your area, you feel that you're not alone. Yes, there is accountability. Yes, there is responsibility. But you are confident that the others would help you through it. So they would guide you. They would offer suggestions. They would help you solve it. And you know that you are not alone. Because in a company, in a team, you always have the support of your other team members. That's what you should feel. And that can be felt if effective communication is being done and a comfortable atmosphere has been developed within the organization. So it's a good thing if you can resolve the problem, but it's even better if you can prevent it from happening. Yes, it's true that there is no perfect environment, but there is such a thing that we call as something that wherein we feel that we belong in there. And that's how your workplace should make you feel. Next, effective communication in a workplace helps employees survive catastrophe. Effective communication takes place when a leader talks honestly about a certain situation that can strengthen the trust of employees. Alright, so for surviving catastrophe, a disaster, again, when you are comfortable in the workplace, you have this idea that you can trust one another. You have this idea to be transparent with them. It's good if the leader is transparent with the employees, with the other members, with his or her subordinates. But it's even better if everyone is transparent in the entire team or in the entire organization. In that way, you would feel that you are not alone. In that way, you would feel that, oh, I would not be the only one who would take the fall for this one. It's not necessary that they would take the fall with you, but they would prevent you from falling. They would prevent you from, committing that failure. And if ever such failure is already committed, they would help you get back on your feet. That's how it is if there is effective communication in the workplace. They would help you get through it, they would help you get back up. In case you experience a downfall when it comes to work. Right? So transparency, not only of the leader, but also of everyone in the team. That is very important. All right, so that's it. It's very important to know the different benefits of effective communication in the workplace, not only to prepare you for the world of work, but you can also actually relate to this because when you are given a group work or a task to work on as a group, you really have to deal with other people. And your workplace as a school, maybe it be digital or face to face, You have to know your work around. You have to know how you deal with these people of different cultures, of different personalities. And with that, thank you for listening, and we can entertain the questions in the next part. And also, let's call it a day. Have a nice day, guys. Thank you.